When you think positive thought, okay, like that thought's lovely, it's very positive. However, your brain can tell you all day long all the positive thoughts in the world. However, if your body doesn't believe it, if your body rejects it, then it doesn't matter what positive thoughts are going through your mind in that moment, because they won't work. What you have to do is find something to say to yourself, to think to yourself, to say within your inner dialogue that you can believe, that your body won't reject. Let's say you say this positive thought, you think this positive thought, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say these positive thoughts, these affirmations, whatever you want to call them. But immediately afterwards, your body says, that's not true, or we know that's not true. No, it's a rejection. There's a level of rejection that's happening. So of course those positive thoughts aren't going to work for you because you don't believe what you're saying to yourself. So that's the key. That's the dirty secret of positive thinking, is it doesn't work. It means nothing. It will do nothing for you unless you believe what you are saying. And I don't know if you've heard of this really big time spiritual YouTuber his name is Aaron Doughty. He talks about this all the time in his videos, of the energetic scale of where you are on your frequency level, where you're at on the energetic scale. Abraham Hicks also talks about this a lot too. Depending on where you are at energetically will determine how much you're able to metabolize the positive thoughts that you're trying to think. What is the point of thinking a positive thought? Well, it's going to help your life feel better. It's going to help you feel better and all these things, but that's for another video. So this sliding scale of frequency, if you're at the level of shame, fear, worry, doubt, if you think to yourself, well, I don't want to feel these things anymore, so let's think positively, and you think, I'm having such an amazing day, even though my dog died, or whatever, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. That positive thought is going to hit a wall because your body is rejecting it, saying, that's not true, and then it goes nowhere. It literally goes nowhere. So to help yourself actually implement positive thinking so that it actually works, you have to start on the level that is acceptable to you. What do you believe? Allowing yourself to be flexible and adaptable when it comes to thinking positive thoughts and putting that in your day is so important. Gratitude is the same way. If you're saying, I'm so thankful for something that you absolutely hate, that gratitude means nothing and goes nowhere. It's not helpful. So take a look at that. Take a look at some of Aaron Doughty's videos. Take a look at that vibrational frequency chart and see where you're at. What are the feelings that you've been feeling lately? And then kind of start around there. Like, it's about taking one step up. To take a quantum leap, it's very, very difficult to take quantum leaps. So what we have to do is baby steps. And sometimes baby steps have little baby steps to make that one baby step. And that's okay, because it really does make a difference thinking positive thoughts, but you have to do it in the correct way. Otherwise, it doesn't go anywhere and it means nothing. It won't serve you. A lot of people just say, oh, positive thinking is so toxic. When I'm talking about positive thinking, I'm not talking about lying to yourself past the point of believability. Do I say to myself, oh man, I have $1 million in my bank account? No, but what I do say is I make more and more money every single year. Money flows easily to me. Saying things that are believable to yourself. Starting small. Don't bite off more than you can chew, otherwise your body will reject it. Especially if you've been in a very low place energetically, like let's say you struggle with depression. And by the way, I am not a doctor, I am not a psychiatrist, but I am somebody who firmly believes in the power and tools of spirituality, because that is the one thing that has worked for me. I've been there. I've been clinically depressed. I do struggle with anxiety. I do struggle with depression. I do struggle with a lot of those dark things. But guess what? I have been able to heal a lot of that through the modalities in which I am sharing with you, because I'm not going to sit here on the internet and share with you things that I have not used in my own life to improve my life. You can empower yourself too. You can make positive steps too towards building a future you actually want to live. And one of those is actually using positive thinking or positive affirmations or whatever. Positive thinking is not toxic if you do it correctly. You have to be realistic. You have to think about the negative stuff too. You can't just pretend it doesn't exist. The purpose of negativity is to show you information so that you can empower yourself to make positive steps forward. What is that information telling you? That's what you need to do to use to formulate the positive thoughts that are actually going to take you to where you need to be. So remember, if you get anything out of this video, you have to start on the level of where you're at. And if that means you are depressed and you were able to get out of bed that day, you give yourself all the love in the world, saying, you know what? I was able to get out of bed today. I'm proud of myself for getting out of bed today. Praise yourself. Be grateful for that. Thinking about positive things that you're able to do for yourself within a day, even if it's really, really small. That's where you start. You start really, really small. Something that Abraham Hicks talks about in a lot of her videos, and that I've implemented, is also with helping with figuring out what positive thoughts to think, is writing a list. So when I'm struggling, I'll start with very small things like make the bed. I'll write that on a list. Or ate breakfast. Write that on the list. Drove to work today, no accidents. Write that on the list, and you cross those things off the list, because that's going to make you feel like you've accomplished something. It's going to help you focus your energy and your mind on the positive things that are happening throughout the day. And before you know it, by the end of the day, you're going to feel more accomplished. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel brighter. Will you be completely healed by the end of the day? Probably not, but you are going to be I am giving you the tools to empower yourself to be able to make those positive shifts within yourself so that you can start healing those wounds, healing those mindsets, and being able to move through those tough days a little more smoothly, because that's all we can ask of ourselves is, how can we make this a little better, even if it's just a little bit? And you'll find that once you start exercising that skill, because it is a skill, it takes effort to... And effort can be kind of a dirty word. It doesn't take that much effort at all, but it does take some level of effort to cultivate and exercise this muscle called gratitude and positivity. And you have to start small. You can't lift the heaviest weight and expect to be a bodybuilder immediately. You have to start with the weight that you can do a couple reps with. You know, you can't go too heavy, but you can't go too light either. So it's about finding that one step up, that one thing that you can believe within your body when you tell yourself that is more positively oriented. That's where you start. So take this tool, start working on that today. It is like a muscle. You do have to exercise it. You do have to use it. You can't just say one positive thought and then expect the rest of the day to go hunky-dory. It's a mindset in which needs to be cultivated, much like a garden. It needs weeded, it needs watered, it needs fertilizer, it needs pruning, it needs, harvesting and everything like that. So it does take work. However, starting small to where it's manageable for you, bite-sized pieces, baby steps is where you need to start with positive thinking. If your body rejects it and you don't believe the positive things you're saying to yourself, it's going to not work. So I can't say that enough, and I really hope that this helps and that this brings clarity to you on what to do. And just taking this one piece of information, this one piece of advice that I'm giving you, this one gem that I'm giving you, if you were to implement that only throughout your day, you'll be surprised how much your life will shift, how your weeks and your months and your days will shift for the better, and you will start taking care of yourself better in ways that you need. You'll start feeling more calm, more serenity throughout your day. You'll be able to handle the ups and downs that life can give us with with much greater ease. And that's all we can ever ask for ourselves, right? So give yourself that self-love that you deserve. You deserve it. Somebody's got to give it to you, so you give it to you. You become your greatest advocate. You become your greatest lover. You become your greatest best friend, okay? Be there for yourself the way you wish other people were for you. Be there for yourself the way that you deserve, the way that you need, the way that you deserve. You give that gift to yourself first, and then you'll be surprised how many doors will open and how many people will come in to do that very thing for you. But it's got to start with you first doing it for yourself. It's not selfish. It's an act of self-love, and it helps heal the world and the people around us, because people love interacting with people who are more happy and more genuine and more positive, not somebody who is grouchy, grumpy, and is bossy or controlling or mean and negative. So it's much more conducive to positive growth and being able to actually get more done in your day and feel more energetic, and all of those things that come with reducing the stress within your body and your mind by cultivating positive thoughts that actually work for you. It's going to take a little bit of experimentation, but you'll feel it. You'll feel when your body says, ugh, no. And when your body says, you know what? Yeah, I can get behind that. So start today. And I hope that this video helps, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.